They say memory fades, that the details of the past get lost like dust in old drawers, like photographs left too long in the sun. But sometimes something survives, something too strange to forget, something that slipped through the cracks of normal life and refuses to stay buried. I remember the first time I saw his face in the yearbook. It was a rainy Tuesday. The school library was mostly empty, silent except for the hum of fluorescent lights and the sound of 1,000 thoughts bouncing quietly in 1,000 distracted teenage heads. I wasn't looking for anything in particular. Just passing time, thumbing through old books, flipping through forgotten yearbooks like artifacts from another dimension. But then, page 67 stopped me cold. There he was, same eyes, same haircut, same crooked jawline and distant expression, a face I passed in the hallway almost every single day. He was standing next to a row of science teachers, labeled simply as custodial staff, Mr. Howard. But the yearbook was dated 1972. I checked the date twice. Triple-checked the name, looked back at the photo. Still him. He hadn't aged, not a wrinkle, not a single gray hair. 49 years had passed since that photo was taken, and he looked exactly the same as he did yesterday, pushing that same mop down the west hallway, silent, solitary, invisible. At first, I laughed to myself. Maybe it was a coincidence. A relative, maybe. A son, a grandson. Someone with strong genes and a stronger family resemblance. But the more I looked, the more the laughter drained out of me like warmth from the room. Because the expression in his eyes, that eerie calm, that bottomless stillness, was something no one else could mimic. It was the look of someone who had watched time pass like water through glass. I asked around. Teachers, staff, even the principal. Everyone gave me the same answer. Mr. Howard had always worked there. He's been here forever, they said, laughing, brushing it off. Probably came with the building. The more they joked, the less funny it became. I started watching him. Every morning, he arrived at 5:17 a.m. sharp. I know because I waited. Hidden behind the dumpster near the west parking lot, notebook in hand. Breath held like I was stalking something sacred or dangerous. And like clockwork, there he was, same uniform, same gait, same expressionless face. Never early, never late. Always exactly on time. He never parked, never got dropped off, never walked from the bus stop. He simply appeared. No one else seemed to notice. He never spoke unless spoken to, and even then, he answered in phrases so short they barely qualified as language. I once passed him in the hallway and said, "Morning, Mr. Howard." He looked at me, paused a moment too long, and replied, "Day 4, clean level, 94%. Then kept walking. It wasn't just eerie. It felt wrong, like he was reading from a script I wasn't supposed to hear. A week later, I followed him. It was before dawn, the sky still clinging to the last traces of starlight, and the campus drenched in silence. I watched from a safe distance as he entered the boiler room, a place students weren't supposed to go, a place most of us didn't even know still worked. I waited a moment, then crept in behind him, heart hammering like it knew something I didn't. Inside, the air was thick and humming, like something alive was breathing through the walls. I could hear faint pulses, mechanical and wet at the same time, like organic machines slowly waking up. Then I saw him. He stood in front of a section of wall, plain, metallic, unmarked. And then, without a word, he pressed his palm flat against it. The wall responded. It didn't open so much as fold, silently peeling back like layers of light and steel separating in perfect sync. Behind it was a chamber glowing with a soft blue pulse, full of panels and coils that didn't look like anything human-made. The hum deepened. I felt it in my teeth, behind my eyes. I wanted to scream. But I couldn't move. And then, he turned. He looked straight at me. His eyes were not eyes. They were mirrors of black, endless and unblinking, smooth as obsidian, deep as a starless sky. I froze. The hum stopped. Time did too. Then he spoke. Not with his mouth. with his mind. Curiosity will either save you or remove you. And just like that, the chamber closed. He walked past me as if I wasn't even there and vanished down the corridor. No questions, no threat. Just that one message planted deep inside my thoughts like a splinter I couldn't remove. I stood there, trembling, every part of me screaming to make sense of what had just happened. But the truth is, sense no longer applied. Logic had exited the room the moment the wall had opened, like a wound in the world. The next day, he was back, mopping the West Wing, nodding silently to passing students like nothing had ever happened. But I knew better now, and deep down, I think he knew I knew. Later that week, I returned to the library, this time with a mission. I asked the librarian for older archives, newspaper reels, photo logs, microfilm. Anything with images of the school from before my parents were even born. I dug through decades, 1960s, 1950s, even earlier. And he was always there. In 1951, a newspaper clipping read, "Custodian saves dozens from electrical fire," next to a grainy photo of the same man. Same face, holding a fire extinguisher. 1979. Gas leak evacuation led by school maintenance worker. 1988. Janitor honored for 30 years of service. Different events, same man, unchanged, untouched by time. That night, I found something in my locker. No note, no label. Just a small metal cube, smooth and cold, pulsing softly with a blue glow. When I picked it up, it felt like touching electricity. My fingers tingled, and then the voice returned. "Observe, remember, when they arrive, you'll know what to do." I looked around, expecting someone. Nothing, just the hallway, just lockers, just shadows. When I looked out the window, he was gone. Mr. Howard, the janitor who never aged, had vanished. But as I stared up at the clouds above the school, I saw something ripple through the sky, like a curtain being drawn back for just a second. A shimmer, almost invisible. Like something huge had just shifted behind the atmosphere. No one else saw it. No one else noticed anything strange, but I did. And from that day forward, I couldn't look at the world the same way again. Because somewhere beneath the surface of everyday life, behind the masks we wear and the routines we cling to, something else was watching, and some of them had already been here far longer than we ever imagined.